web outputs, you will learn about saving web pages offline and downloading files to your computer. You will also discover how to copy text and images from web pages into a document. You will learn about previewing and printing an entire web page or a selected part of it. Finally, you will learn about changing the page orientation, size and margins when printing your web pages. To start, click the Next button.
Sometimes we may wish to save information which is displayed on a website for reference and use at a later stage. By saving a web page, we can work with its content and view it offline anytime. This is a great way to be able to access web content on our computer, especially if the internet is not available.
In our first topic, we will show how to download a web page to your computer. To start, go to the web page you want to download. Right-click anywhere on the page. Then select the Save As option. A pop-up window will open.
We need to decide where we want to save the web page on our computer, so we can easily access it at a later stage. In this example, we're going to save this web page to our Documents folder. Click on Documents, and then click on the Save button. A window with a progress bar will then appear on your screen as the web page downloads to your computer. This will disappear once the download is fully complete. The web page can now be accessed through your Documents folder on your computer. As well as downloading entire web pages, you may also need to download certain files from the internet. For example, you may wish to download a program, spreadsheet, presentation or document to your computer to access at a later stage. Let's see how we can do this.
In this example, we want to download the Bing wallpaper application. We will download this application to our computer so that we can access and install it later. We will start by clicking on the Install Now button.
A progress bar will tell us the status of the download, along with the estimated remaining time. Whilst downloading your program, you should ensure that you remain connected to the internet. If you disconnect at any stage, you will lose your current download. Your browser will confirm when the download is complete, and will provide links to run or open your program. Next, we'll look at how you can copy text from a web page to Microsoft Word for future reference, or to read it offline if the internet is not available. In our example, we want to copy text from our Education Wikipedia website. We'll select our text by placing our cursor at the beginning of the content and then dragging it until we reach the end of the text we want to use. We'll now see the selected text is highlighted in blue. Making sure our cursor is on the highlighted text, we'll then right-click our mouse. A menu will appear on our screen. When we select Copy from the menu options, the highlighted text is then stored on a clipboard, which we will use to paste the content into our word processing program. Before we do this, however, we need to access our word processing program. We'll click on the Microsoft Word icon in our Windows taskbar at the bottom of our screen.
The Word application will open.
Using our cursor, we'll then click on the point in our document where we'd like to paste the text we've just copied from our web page. Microsoft Word has a ribbon designed to help users quickly find commands to perform different tasks. There is a Paste button in the top left corner of the ribbon, which allows us to paste content we have copied from another source. We'll therefore click on this button to copy over our text currently being stored on our clipboard.
The text of the web page has been well copied and pasted into a new Word document.
Now we know how to copy text from a web page into Microsoft Word. Let's look at how we copy and paste an image into a word processing program. However, before we do this, a word of caution. It's very important to check if images are subject to copyright. You should obtain the permission of the image owner if there is a copyright notice, particularly if you intend to use the images for commercial purposes.
In this example, we want to copy the Khan Academy logo into a Microsoft Word document.
We'll right-click on the image and a pop-up menu will appear on our screen. Similar to when we copied web text, we'll select the Copy menu option. Again, this copies our content to a clipboard. We'll then move our cursor down to the Windows taskbar and click on the Microsoft Word icon. All of our open documents will appear in a small preview window. In this example, we have the Word document Latest Report open, so we'll click on this window. Using our cursor, we'll then click on the point in our document where we'd like to paste the image we've just copied from our web page. Remember from the previous topic that the ribbon in Microsoft Word contains different functionality. We'll click on the Paste button in the top left corner of this ribbon. The Khan Academy logo is then pasted in our Word document. Before you print a page, it's always a good idea to preview your web page to make sure that the content on your screen fits within the printed document. In this topic, we'll show you how to use the Print Preview option.
As before, we'll click on the menu in the upper right corner of the window.
And then select Print from the menu options. A print preview will appear on your screen, displaying what the page will look like once it's been printed.
If some of the page content is missing, you may need to adjust the print settings, as we will see later in this lesson.
On this occasion, we're happy with how the preview looks, so in this next topic we'll now show you how to print our web page.
We'll click on the menu.
And then click on Print. On this occasion, we're going to print 5 copies of our web page, so we'll need to enter this amount into the Number of Copies box in the print window. Type in the number 5. Once we click on the Print button, 5 copies of the web page will be delivered to our printer. There may be occasions, however, when you don't just need to print the entire website. If this is the case, you can print specific pages only. Let's take a look at how we do this. We'll start by clicking on the Options button, and then clicking on the Print menu option.
In the Pages section in this window, the default setting is to print all pages.
We're going to change this so that only a specific number of pages will be printed. We only want to print pages 1 to 5, so we'll type these into the Pages box. Type page number 1 to 5 using the keyboard. Then we'll click on the Print button. This results in pages 1 to 5 only of our web page being delivered to our printer. Remember from one of the earlier topics that we were able to copy selected text and paste this into a word processing program. In addition, we can also print selected text from a web page. Let's see how we do this. First of all, we'll select the text we want to print. We do this by placing our cursor at the start of the text and dragging it to the end. This will highlight the selected text on your screen.
As before, we'll click on the menu in the upper right corner of the window.
and then click on the Print option.
Scroll down and click on More Settings. Among the options, we will check the box Selection Only.
Finally, we'll click on the Print button to deliver the selected text to our printer. In our next topic, we'll look at page orientation and how we can change this. Put simply, page orientation is the way in which a rectangular web page is displayed on your screen. We can control page orientation by choosing from one of two options, portrait or landscape. In a portrait setting, the height of the display area is greater than the width. In landscape, however, the display is wider and the height smaller. Let's take a look at how we can adjust our screen display using these two settings.
By default, the printing of the page is in portrait mode. We will change it to landscape mode. We will start by clicking on the menu in the upper right corner of the window. From the menu options, we'll click on Print. A page setup window will appear. From this one, we will configure the print settings.
We'll change the setting from the default portrait by clicking on the landscape option. Watch the small preview on the right-hand side of this window change with the settings.
Then we'll click on the Print button. This page will be printed in landscape mode.
We can also adjust the size of our web page, which is particularly useful for when we print content from the internet. There are many different page size options built into your computer, some of the more common being A4, letter, label, and envelope. A4 is probably the best known size, being used for manuals, brochures, letters, leaflets, and posters.
Let's see how to change the size of our web page when printing.
As A4 is the most common format used, this is the default web page size on our computer.
In this example, we will change this format and select the letter size. We will start by clicking on the menu in the upper right corner of the window.
And again, we'll select Print from our list of menu options. In the top left corner of this window, you'll see the Page Size drop-down menu.
We will click on the drop-down arrow and select the letter option. Once done, we will click on the Print button. The web page will be printed at letter size.
With printing in mind, it is good housekeeping to make sure that web pages are well set out, with ample and tidy margins. This also makes sure that the content you see on your screen fits within the page when the document is printed. We can easily adjust the margins in a web page, so let's look at how we do this.
As before, we'll click on the menu in the upper right corner of the window.
And then click on Print.
Scroll down and click on More Settings. Scroll down again to Margins. Click on Margins drop-down menu. Then select Custom.
When the Page Setup window appears on your screen, you'll see the boxes where we can adjust each of the 4 margins on our page. Let's start with the left margin box. Click on this. We're going to increase our left margin from the current 0.75 to 0.9 inches. Watch the small preview change as we adjust our margin settings. Now let's increase the size of our right margin by clicking on the right margin box. Again, we'll change this from 0.75 to 0.9 inches, thereby having the same margin on both the left and right-hand sides of our web page. Again, we can see a preview of the changes as we adjust the sizes of the margins. Once we're happy with our changes,
we will click on the Print button. The web page will be printed at letter size. The web page will be printed with the margins as we have defined them. Knowledge check. Practical exercises.
Congratulations! You have now completed this 4th lesson in our online IT skills module.
In this lesson, you learned how to save web pages offline and download files to your computer. You also learned how to copy text and images from web pages into a document. You saw how to preview and print an entire page or selected text from a web page. Finally, you learned how to change the orientation, size and margins when printing your web page.